Hello everyone! I'm AYANA, a Vtuber. Today I'll explain how to use UV mapping. Let's begin! Let's start! Let's create an object like this by UV mapping. UV map is a development view of an object. As shown here, the expanded cube is the UV map of the cube object. The UV editor panel is where you can view and edit UV maps. This is the UV editor. You can also switch from the workspace. This UV editing is a workspace suitable for editing UV maps. As shown here, only the part of the face selected in edit mode is displayed in UV editor. To view the entire UV map, you need to switch to 3D viewport to edit mode and press A to select all. Please note that it's common for beginners to not see UV map despite UV unfolding. Blender standard objects such as cube and UV sphere already have UV maps. Let's check the UV map that the object has. Look at the item called UV map from Object Data Properties in the Properties panel. This UV map is the name of the UV map that the object has. You can check the UV map displayed in the UV editor from here. This red line is called seam. It will be a cut line when unwrapping. Please note that it's not required when unwrapping. Select the edge to be set as a seam. Select edge, mark seam to set the seam. Now that the seam setting is complete, let's expand it. Press A to select all meshes. Please note that this operation is easy to forget. Select UV, unwrap. Then the UV map is created like this. Smart UV Project automatically develops UV without setting seam. Select all meshes with A and then choose UV Smart UV Projection. Angle limit makes it possible to set seam for edge below the set angle. Click OK. Unwrapping has been completed. It's convenient because it automatically unwraps UV. Before creating the mesh texture, edit the UV map to shape it. This is the UV editor. The operation of UV editor is almost the same as the operation of edit mode of 3D viewport. Let's see how it is. First, about UV selection mode. Similar to 3D viewport. The vertex selection mode, edge selection mode, and face selection mode. Here we'll have a new mode that is island, and I'll explain it later. This is the vertex selection mode. This is the edge selection mode. And this is the face selection mode. Next, I'll explain island selection mode. When unwrapping UV, depending on the seam settings, the UV map can be split into two parts. Each of these separate UV maps is called an island. This is the switching button of island selection mode. In island selection mode, you can select island like this. Use T to show, hide from the tool shelf. The operation with box select here is the same as the operation for 3D viewport. Moving, rotating, scaling is exactly the same as the operation of 3D viewport. Press G to move. Press R to rotate. And press S to scale. If the vertices are messed up like this, let's align it. Select multiple vertices and choose UV, Align, Align X. In this way, the positions of the vertices are aligned with respect to the x-axis. If you want the vertices to be aligned with respect to the y-axis, select Align Y. By setting the pen to the vertex, you can keep the vertex fixed when UV unwrapping again. Let's fix the vertices of this face. Choose UV, then pen. These four red dots are called pen. Let's unwrap again. It was unwrapped with the pins fixed in this way. To check how it's mapped while editing the UV map, use color grade to check the mapping. I've already explained how to apply color grade in the previous lecture. Set the 3D viewport display to material preview so that the material is displayed. You can check the mapping like this. Adjust so that the size of the color grid is constant. If the grid is too large, the image will be rough when applying the image texture. I'll create an image texture from here, but there are two ways to create it. One is to use the internal functions of Blender, and the other is to use external software such as Photoshop. About how to use the available features of Blender, I'll explain in detail next time. This time, we'll create an image texture by using external software. After you created a UV map, export to UV map so you can create another texture for it with external software such as Photoshop. From the UV editor, select UV, export UV layout. Set the size and fill opacity. Change the name. Click Export to UV layout to export. An image like this will be exported. Now let's create an image texture in Photoshop. I'll create an image texture like this. Then we will just export the texture file. Don't mistake it with the UV map export. Now let's map the created texture to the object. Open the shader editor. Add an image texture node and build such a node like this. Press Open in the image texture node. Select the created texture. Click Open Image. Set the mapping by adding Texture Coordinates node in Mapping node and connect the nodes like this. The output of the Texture Coordinates node is UV. The texture mapping is done. This is completed. This is the end of the lecture on how to use UV mapping. How is everyone doing? Did you understand today's lecture? If you found today's lecture useful, please subscribe. If you have any requests, please let us know in the comments below. See you again in the next lecture. See you soon. Bye.